All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Tuesdays and Thursdays are training days, so get ready to take some notes. I'm going to change screens and we're going to get right to it. So, I'm going to start out with a question. So, here's the question. Why is it that some people stick with their habits while most of us struggle to stay motivated? You know, in talking with real estate agents, one of the most common things that I hear when I ask, what are your challenges, is time management, focus, uh, sticking with our habits, right? And what's interesting is we think that someone is disciplined, and I would tell you discipline is a myth. Uh, Discipline is nothing more than creating a habit that looks like a discipline. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a deeper dive into creating habits and uh, how to do that starting from zero. In other words, let's talk lead generation for a moment, okay? If you want to increase your real estate production, the number one thing you could do every day is get on the phone and look for motivated buyers and sellers. In other words, you got to get on the phone every day, same time. That's part of creating a habit. So if you look at my calendar, I have lead generation time blocked every day. It starts at the same time, and I'm going to pick up the phone and dial talk, dial talk, dial talk. Been doing the same thing for 23 years. It's definitely a habit. But let's say you're brand new to this and you're like, okay, how do I start? So I was having a conversation with one of my leadership groups that I coach on Tuesdays, and we have somebody that's new to the group and hasn't been making any calls, right? And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to talk to 10 people a week. That's it, 10. You're going to talk to two people every single day. You got to get on the phone and you got to talk to two people every day. Now, these are different types of calls. These are calls to real estate agents to partner with in order to grow their real estate organization. Uh, this particular agent was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that. That's just so uncomfortable." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." Here's the thing though, it's not such a stretch goal that you're going to fail and you're going to give up. If I told you to start out, pay attention everybody. If I told you to start out by having 10 conversations a day, you might try for 2 days, maybe 3 days, but you're going to give up. It's because it's too hard. What we want to do is we want to start out with something that's just a little bit of a stretch, just a little bit outside our comfort zone, and two conversations a day for this particular agent that I was talking to was just a little bit of a stretch for her. Okay. 2 days later, I get an email saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I did it. And not only did I have two conversations, but I actually had three conversations, and one of them booked an appointment with me. What do I do now?" And what's so awesome is with this fear that existed for her that caused her to look at this like it weighed 500 pounds and oh my gosh, I can't pick it up and call people. All I had to do was get her to stretch just a little bit. Two conversations. That's it. Two conversations. Joe, you were in that call with me. You know what I'm talking about. Two conversations. And I get an email, and I wish you guys could see the email from her. So because she is just celebrating, smiling from ear to ear because she just can't believe this actually works. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're seeing a crazy drawing on your screen. All righty. So this is called the Goldilocks rule. The way the Goldilocks rule works is I'm going to use tennis as an analogy. If you were playing tennis against a 4-year-old, this is motivation, this is difficulty. So this is low difficulty, high difficulty over here. Okay. If you were playing tennis against a 4-year-old, you're going to win every single time. You're going to win every single point. It's actually going to become boring and you're going to stop because it's too easy. Now, if on the other hand, if you were playing tennis against Serena Williams, you're going to get your butt kicked. You're going to lose every single time. And you're going to give up because it's too hard, because you're failing, because there's no chance of success. So, what we need to do is we need to find not too easy, not too hard, but just right. It's the Goldilocks rule. We experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are on the edge of our current abilities. So let me go back to the conversation that I was having with one of the leaders that I was coaching. And I said, two conversations. That's it. Two conversations, not 10, two. That's right here in this zone, right here, everybody. 10 conversations would be over here. She'd try it for a couple days and then she would give up. All right. You gotta, so in order to create a habit, this is the zone that we're looking for right here. Not too easy, but not too hard, but just on the edge of what's possible. Now, what's going to happen over time is as she's having these two conversations every day, two's going to become too easy. So now we're back over here. So we have to ramp up this middle section to now it's 4 conversations per day. We can't go from 2 to 10. We're going to fail and we're going to give up. But we're going to ramp it up to 4. We're making gradual increases in order to maintain building this habit, but also drive increasing the degree of difficulty. So maximum motivation occurs when facing a challenge of just manageable difficulty. Okay, stop screen. Let me get out of this and stop share. 1 second. We're back. All right. So back to the question that I started with. Why is it that some people stick with their habits while most of us struggle to stay motivated? Here's the answer. The way to maintain motivation and achieve peak levels of desire is to work on tasks just manageable um, difficulty. The human brain loves a challenge. All right, there's got to be a challenge there. Going back to playing tennis against the 4-year-old, there's not a challenge. You're going to get bored. You're going to stop. You've got to have a challenge, but only if it is within an optimal zone of difficulty. So it's got to be a challenge, but it's got to be within reach. You've got to be able to achieve the challenge in order to create a habit. Remember, we're talking about creating habits here. Okay, once a habit has been established, it is important to advance in small ways. So that's what I was talking about earlier. You're lead generating and you're going to start prospecting for sell by owners and expired listings. Oh my gosh, how many of you just got panicked, right? Raise your hand if you're like, oh, cold chills, no way. I'm not picking up the phone and calling expired listings. They're going to hang up on me. They're going to yell at me. They're going to be mean to me. I need you to talk to 2 a day, just 2 a day. Don't worry about whether or not they say yes. Who cares? It's the habit that we're focusing on. By the way, back to this coaching appointment that I had on Tuesday to this group of leaders, one of the questions she asked me was, can I save up those 2 conversations a day for just Friday, for example? And can I have 10 conversations on Friday? And I said, no, you're missing the point. The point is not to have 10 conversations. The point is to create a habit of getting on the phone every day, lead generating, focused on standards. The standard for you is 2 conversations a day. That's it. We got to create a habit. In order for something to be a habit, you have to do it every day. You don't brush your teeth 1 day a week and brush them extra long because that's going to take care of the rest of the week. You got to brush them every single day. Thank you, Joe Grant, for laughing. Okay. How many of you just thought, wonder if I brushed my teeth today? All right. These little improvements and new challenges keep you engaged. These little improvements and new challenges keep you engaged. So week 2, you go to 3 conversations a day. You're still calling for sell by owners. You're still calling expired listings, but now it's not 2 conversations, it's 3 conversations a day. And then the next week, you go to 4 conversations. Now, eventually, you're talking to 20 people a day. When you're talking to 20 people a day, you have to succeed. You have to succeed because when you talk to enough people, somebody's going to say yes. I'm circle prospecting, Jacqueline, and I'm calling homeowners around a property that just sold. Hey, my name is John Dietz. I'm a local real estate professional. Great news, a home in your neighborhood just sold. Our challenge now is we still have buyers that are looking for great homes like yours. And I was just curious, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Simple, right? I talk to two people a day. That's the script. And I get nobody, nobody. Day two, nobody, nobody. Day three, nobody, nobody. Now it's a couple months later, and I'm no longer talking to two people a day. Now I'm talking to 10 people a day, and then 15 a day, and then 20 a day. Somebody has to say yes. You realize that 5% of every neighborhood that you're ever going to go into is going to move in the next 12 months. It's a fact. There's 83 million homeowners in the United States. 4 million homes were sold in 2024, one of the worst years we've ever had, but still 5%. Do the math. If 5% of US homeowners are moving every year, then 5% of every neighborhood that you're calling is moving every year. If there's 100 homes in that neighborhood, that means 5 people are going to move in the next 12 months. If you called everybody and you simply asked, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Somebody's going to say, I am. Guys, you could put a sign around your dog's neck and have your dog walk the neighborhood. The sign could say, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? If it's you, fill out your name on this 3x5 card, put it in this pocket, and the dog would come home with seller leads. It's fact. By the way, bunny trail alert. I've told you guys this many, many times. For those of you who are with dogs, I'm waiting for somebody to send me a picture and show me, John, I did it. I did it. For those of you who are with dogs, get one of those sweaters that your dogs wear, have it custom made, and all it has to say is, my person is a realtor. That's it. If my person is a realtor, if you're looking to buy or sell, talk to my person. Somebody's going to walk up to you in the dog park and say, are you selling real estate? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? Somebody, please do this. Send me a picture of this. I really want to see you guys do this. I'm telling you, it's going to work. All right. These little improvements and new challenges keep you engaged. And if you hit the Goldilocks zone just right, you can achieve flow state. So, what is flow state? Flow state is the experience of being in the zone and fully immersed in an activity. Have you ever gotten, now, Jacqueline, I know that you've been there. I did Matthew Kemp's, Michael Wiseman, all of you who have been doing this for a long period of time. And there's a lot of names that I'm not mentioning who are succeeding at a high level. I know you've all experienced flow state. I know I have. And in flow state is at a point for me where I just can't get it wrong. Everybody I talk to says yes. Everybody I call wants to meet with me. Everybody that I meet with wants to work with me. And it's just that, oh my gosh, I can't get it wrong. That's flow state. And when you're in that state of flow, you just want to make the next call. That's the really cool thing about this. I'm going to wrap it up on this, and I want you to raise your hands and talk to me. Is the more you succeed, the more you want to make the next call. So by starting small with a very small habit, holding yourself accountable to that day every single day, staying in that Goldilocks zone, you're creating success that breeds motivation to take it to the next level, that breeds more success, that creates motivation to take it to the next level. You guys realize there's 76 of you on the call right now. Every single one of you, there's nobody here that I'm not including in this, can succeed at whatever level you choose. It's a choice. All right, Jacqueline, talk to me.
I'm so excited to talk about this because I don't know if people out there, you're 75 people, I'm frightened of the telephone. I have such a hard time with picking up the phone and calling, but because of these calls, a couple of weeks ago, I called a for sale by owner. It was kind of difficult with me and everything, but he did allow me to come over. Tomorrow, Daniel and I sign our listing agreement with these folks. It's an over $2 million home. Thank you. They told me when we got there that they were only talking to two people. One was referred to them by the retirement community that's real well known out here. And so not only did that success from getting that appointment with these people make me feel better to call, I reached out of my comfort zone. I called the retirement community and asked them if I could be on their list. They said there was no list. And said, well, I hear that y'all are referring people. Can I just, I've gotten 5 people into your retirement, sold their homes. So now I sent them all this information about myself, and they're willing to give my name out to prospective people. So yeah, using that one success, and I'm definitely in the flow zone right now. I mean, I'm so excited. We wrote 8 contracts this week, the total about $9 million. So hopefully, you know how that is in this market to keep them together, but that's what's going to get me to that goal that I've had all year.
There you go. That's what it sounds like, everybody. All right, we got a lot of hands up, so I'm going to move fast here. Let's go, Hawk. Make it fast, buddy. I got lots of hands up.
Good morning. When I started in business, I was terrible on the phone.
Yep.
And eventually I got better and better and better. And I've grown, and through partnerships, clients from our old agency, we've grown over 24 companies to at least $1 million in revenue just by picking up the phone.
That's it.
That is the number one skill. If you learn how to pick up the phone and you do it consistently, not only will you get better and better at it, but you will also be able to, you're unstoppable. There's nothing on this planet that is more important and more powerful than picking up the phone.
Amen.
And you get better. Now, I get people all the time. They're like, "Oh, I can't pick up the phone. It doesn't work. I'm not able to get calls." And in a day, they'll get one appointment booked if they're calling all day. I'll call for an hour and I'll get 2 appointments booked just because I know what to say. I know how to respond. You just get better and better and better at it. So
it's just time on task over time, man. That's all it is. It's time on task over time equals mastery. It's always going to be the formula. Let's go, Lauren.
I just want to share, I'm definitely one of those where well, as you know, trying to work on creating my habit. And sometimes I tell myself, well, I have my business coming to me. I have my referrals outside of my calls, so I can push my calls off. But I know once I start creating that habit, I'll be like Jacqueline and have that business flowing more often, because I need to change that mindset, because I know once those referrals stop, then I'm going to have to end up chasing business again.
All right, wonderful. Lauren, can I coach you for a moment?
Yeah.
All right, 2 words that I want you to eliminate from your vocabulary. Ready?
Uh-huh.
Trying and need. Your subconscious is hearing, I'm trying to create a habit. All right. And your subconscious is hearing, I need to do this. So I am doing this and I am creating a habit. All right, let's go, Birgit.
Okay, I can barely sit still because this is my topic right here. That is such a sweet spot. And Lauren, also think about I'm here to serve, right? When you're thinking about contacting your clients, I don't need to do this. I want to reach out. Who can hear from me today that I could really bring something valuable to the table? Who needs me today? The other thing, there's so many parts in here that I can touch on, but I want to touch just a little bit on the gap that obviously is this between what's happening in our body when we're getting ready to pick up the phone and when we are actually making a call. So knowing on the neuroscience part, that is what I love to help you understand what's going on inside of your body and manage that chemical concoction that's going on, all the hormones that are screaming and crying because your brain wants you to keep you safe, is a big gap to understanding. Yes, you got to get your repetitions in to bring evidence to your brain that you can do this, and your brain doesn't know what's real and not real. So practice ahead of time. Before you get on the phone, practice, say it out into the room, say it in front of the mirror, feel your body, sweat, and the palms, being clamming, all this whatnot, and then get on the phone. So don't go cold. An actor does not go cold in any role. Practice your role.
Great job, Birgit. Thank you so much. Super valuable stuff there. Okay, Nicole, talk to me.
My takeaway from this is we brush our teeth every day. Before I would like accumulate, say, you know what, I missed out today. I'll do the 2 calls the next day. But because you said that, it clicked for me, and I'm just like grateful for that. So thank you. I got to do it every day.
Right. That's right. It's not about how many people did you talk to. Urgh. It's about creating a habit. All right, Anna, talk to me.
I just want to say that this is such a great class today. I don't have fear of door knocking, but I do have fear of making calls, and I started this week, and I right now this today is just pumped me up to just keep going and making those calls. So very thankful for you, John.
My pleasure. Music to my ears. All right, housekeeping really quick here, everybody. First of all, let me turn off the recording.